What's up, everybody? Welcome to another video. Today, it is time. We are outputting. I started outputting, regular outputting. Now, to back up, I have done outputting before. I've done outputting probably since the beginning. It's just been very limited. And then over the last few months, like if I go to a Chinese restaurant or something like that, I'll try to speak a little bit. But in terms of actual output practice, I started about 2 weeks ago, 14 days ago. And it's been wonderful. Now, I've not done, in the last 14 days, I've actually not done any italki lessons. I have been to a Chinese restaurant and spoke to some Chinese people. But I'm actually using Glossica, and I've actually made an entire video about how I use Glossica to train this. So I don't want to talk a whole lot about that in this video. This video is more about just me starting this journey of output, but so I'll let that video talk for itself. But I'm using Glossica, which trains you on output. I shadow, like it'll say the sentence, I'll shadow it. I'll train myself on recall, which is amazing. So I'll have it say the sentence in English and I have to translate it into Chinese, which has honestly helped so much, because it's helped me recall. Like I can say these words now, and it's not one of those things where, oh, I know it, I just can't say it. No, I can say it. And I think that's part of the beauty. That's one of the things that I'm realizing about output is like, while input gets everything in there, like being able to get it out and just use it is incredible, and not have to be like, man, I hope they say that word because I don't know what it is. Like just being able to know it. And the other thing is about output, funny enough, is like, I know people like to harp on it. It's like, oh, you can't learn that way. But like, I've learned a lot of vocabulary by outputting specifically and shadowing these sentences, words that I've not seen in immersion or anything like that. Like, and I'll hear these words and like I can say them now, and I know the tones, and I know the characters, and I know all this stuff. And it's by outputting, which the characters you kind of read inside. That'll be in the Glossica video, kind of how I use that. You do see the characters, and I do look at the characters, but learning these vocabulary words via output, and it's weird because learning the vocabulary words via output actually, I almost weirdly feel that the words are stronger, and that's probably not true. And maybe I have seen those words and I just don't know in immersion. But regardless, they're working very well hand in hand. Immersing and then outputting has been really, really awesome. So, and the other so the reason that I wanted to start outputting is because I have an opportunity to use Chinese very, very often. And before anybody gets like, oh, well, you're never going to sound native, I don't care. I literally, I could not tell you how little I care about sounding native. My goal is communication. And what I will say is I have never talked to a Chinese person who couldn't understand what I was saying, even if tones were wrong or something like that. And so that obviously is awesome. Now, everybody's experience with that's going to be different. Everybody's going to have an opinion on that. I'm just telling you, I'm not saying that everywhere I've went, they've told me my Chinese has been great, because, you know, people say that all the time. Not people to me. I'm saying people will say that just, it's like, oh, great job, you know, whatever, because they're not going to be mean. But I've never had a Chinese person not be able to nobody's ever said, what? I don't know what you're saying. They're like, oh, this or whatever, and they correct whatever, but I've never not been understood in the things that I was saying. And that's my goal, is just being able to have conversations with people, being able to be understood. I don't know. I mean, there's probably science out there. I don't specifically know if speaking early makes your accent terrible. I don't believe it personally. But also, I don't know the studies behind it. If there are any studies, there probably is. Somebody can probably point me into a direction. I just know that my Chinese is leaps and bounds better than what it was a year ago in terms of outputting. Outputting a year ago, I could do a little bit, but it was like not quite as possible as it is now. The other reason I wanted to train output is to be ready in a situation when I am speaking to a Chinese person. And so a lot of what I use Glossica for is to hear these sentences and then shadow them. And so I can get the words to my mouth, get my mouth in the right position, you know, your tongue and everything in there placed where it needs to be, to replicate these sounds in a quick manner and in a more natural manner. I'm not saying sounding native, although, you know, whatever. I'm saying to where the sounds run together like they're supposed to or whatever. Because like when you're learning, now obviously if you're watching native content, you hear the languages that's meant to be spoken, which I do. But a lot of times in beginner material, they'll enunciate, they'll speak slow, yada, yada, yada. You know, it can be, you know, Jin Tian Bu Chung, not today. But nobody's going to say that. Jin Tian Bu Chung. Jin Tian Bu Chung. Like, and being able to hear that, because I also use it to listen as well and train myself. That way I'm ready when these people are speaking to me, and it's just been fantastic. So output is not going to overtake anything that I do, but I've spent almost 10 hours speaking in the last 14 days, but I still get my immersion in as well. And it's weird because I just feel like my Chinese is progressing a lot better since I've added this to it. I still use Link a little bit. I've not used it in a little while, but I still have used it recently a little bit. I don't use it as much. I use Do Chinese when I'm reading, just because everything's there, like, and you don't have to import anything. I do love Link, but just sometimes having to import and take the time to do that, and especially with a language like Chinese where the parsing can be a little weird sometimes. It's a bit much sometimes. I still do it, but it's just been a little while. And then I watch some TV shows and stuff. I don't watch as much comprehensible input anymore. I do, but I watch like I don't watch like beginner videos where it's like, this is an apple. I eat apples. Like I try to watch more entertaining stuff. And that helps my, you know, vocabulary as well. And like I said, I've learned a lot of vocabulary from output that I've since heard in, you know, whatever things that I'm watching or things like that. So I'm really enjoying the process, and it's something I'm going to do for, I mean, probably for a while. If I continue to feel like I'm progressing in the manner in which I'm progressing and speaking, then I will continue to I will continue to do it. I mean, it's teaching the vocabulary. The other main thing that I really love about, especially using, you know, Glossica, for example, is being able to train recall, and being able to recall it is a huge thing with being able to speak. And it doesn't feel like Anki. I don't know. I've tried the whole sentence mining. I just can't get into it. And it is what it is, and I know that people love it, and that's fine. I'm glad that it works for some people. I really struggle with it. And so for me to be able to have a system in place where I can line up 150 sentences and have it to where it says the English and gives me 3 seconds to say the Chinese, to train, being able to get that out from my brain and say it myself, it's been amazing. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit. We are on the way to speaking. We are on the way to doing that. Will I ever do a video on this channel speaking? I don't know, man. I mean, I think that the language learning community has this weird thing where it's like, prove it. And it's like, well, even if I did prove that I could speak, people would conceivably like, well, you're not good enough. And like, I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm here to learn Chinese for myself. I may do a video in the future, but we're still, to complete transparency, it's still a long ways away from that. I think that my Chinese from where it was a year and a half ago, obviously is tremendous, but there's still a very, very, very long way to go. Maybe one day, I don't know. But yeah, that's it. So we are outputting, feeling great. 2 weeks into outputting every single day. Still doing my immersion on the side, not on the side, but still doing my immersion along with it. But man, outputting has been incredible. Learning vocab, learning how to say these words, practicing if I'm struggling with tone or tone pairs, being able to just repeat that sentence and say it over and over and over again has been absolutely fantastic. I've really, really enjoyed it. So let me know what you think. Are you outputting? Are you against that? Are you for it? Doesn't really matter. Let me know down below. I'd love to hear your take. That's the beauty of language learning. We can learn however we want, I guess, whatever makes you happy. But let me know what you think down below. I will have the Glossica video up in a day or so as well, and you can kind of see the way that I am using that. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.